Everything is not your usual sort of game. In fact, many would probably hesitate to call it a game at all. Made by David O'Reilly, the man who brought us Mountain before this, everything is about, well, it's about everything. In what is another borderline mile-wide but inch-deep scenario, it narrowly manages to keep its promise.
What I would call a kind of a basic problem we've got to go through first is to understand that there are no such things as things.
I've said this phrase before, but this isn't for everybody. What we have here is a title more interested in a meditative and zen-like experience than it is on meaningful and complex gameplay. To throw out two niche titles, the best equivalent is a mix between LSD Dream Emulator cross Katamari Damacy. There is no goal, no objective, and no enemies. All there is the entire universe. You take control of a wide breadth of objects, animals, molecules, landmasses, and the list goes on. Really, all you do is move whichever thing you possess in any given moment to wander a small array of environments, to collect audio files, or find new things to possess. Now, these audio files are the only real semblance of gameplay, as they strive for your only real collectible. If you're into a man with a wonderfully soothing voice talking to you about philosophy, then you're probably going to be into collecting as many as you can. There is a genuine curiosity to see what each area has. At any given moment, you could be as minuscule as a carbon atom, or the size of an entire galaxy cluster. As whatever you are, you can recruit other similar things to roam alongside you, or to perform a dance of sorts. Every single thing also has a sing function, though I never really found much use for it. A glaring fault is actually controlling things inside certain environments. When exploring the city streets, I found smaller objects and animals getting caught in the crevices of sidewalks. After doing so, it would take me a few minutes to actually get out. Really, the main goal is to either explore or to find everything. The exploration does run a bit dry once each environment has been seen, and sadly, though the actual number of everything you could potentially possess is massive, nothing ever really differs from one another. There are a select few things with unique animations, but really, everything is mostly interchangeable between one another. The biggest downside is honestly just how samey it all feels. The actual zen-like experience is dampened by the fact that exploration becomes one note. In what is a completionist nightmare, the game keeps tabs on everything you've collected, breaking them down into categories. Once the luster of discovery has worn off, maxing out these categories is all that's left. And honestly, I can't see too many people who would be bothered to do so. It doesn't help that the game is graphically unimpressive, looking like it's striving for a Katamari Damacy sort of aesthetic. Though it can be endearing, it comes off as looking a bit rushed and just generally unpolished. Though some leeway can be given for the variety of the whole game, as a whole, it's still fairly underwhelming. That said, there are some really neat effects that come in every so often. Things you once saw as tiny little creatures or objects now tower as you shrink down to the size of a molecule. In what can be only described as a pretty psychedelic kaleidoscope effect, the 4D section is always a joy to look at. Everything does feel like it delivers on what the title implies. It's a game about the scale of life and what we share the universe with. There is plenty to take from this if you look for it, but the occasional philosophy lesson and stilted animations don't really make for a game that lasts longer than an hour or two. It may be good for moments of relaxation, but for $20, I hesitate recommending this for even its target audience. Everything gets an okay 6.5 out of 10.